72 from Gary Wilson pushed proceedings along in Derby as the hosts managed to hold a slender advantage at the end of day one against Northamptonshire. An uncontested toss saw Derbyshire put into bat by their visitors, and the visiting attack immediately had their hosts under pressure, Rees surviving a good LBW shout early on. Once he'd put that behind him, however, both Rees and Godalming started to put together a solid opening stand. Both struck boundaries, Godalming in particular impressing as he ticked the scoreboard along. They put on 62 for the first wicket. However, with both players set, they went in quick succession before lunch as Sanderson made the breakthrough. Rees was the first to fall, caught by Kleinfeldt off Sanderson for 19. And then 4 overs later, Godalming was out, LBW Sanderson for 33. That left Thacker and Madsen to see things through until lunch, the score 80 for 2, with extras chipping in with a useful 20 runs. It was a slow start after lunch, with neither batsman getting the chance to score freely, but they did still pick off the chances when provided, both striking boundaries to take the score over 100. Thacker had a lucky escape, dropped by Wakely, but it was a sign of things to come as with both looking relatively set at the crease, Kleinfeldt made the breakthrough, having Madsen caught Wakely for 12. The partnership had been worth 37, which was exactly 37 more than the next one. Thacker out in the very next over, LBW Buck for 22. Irish international Gary Wilson was the new man in, and he went straight after the Northants attack, striking a series of boundaries. Smith was being very much more reserved in his innings, but he was playing a role very much as the foil to Wilson's sabre. The keeper continued to move along at a decent pace, striking every bad ball offered up to the boundary, and it wasn't long before he was on the cusp of his half-century. Wilson's been in good form so far this season, with a century against the Loughborough Students a week ago, and he moved to 50 as Derbyshire arrived at tea on 192 for 4. The Wilson offensive continued after the break, but just after the total had moved past 200 and he and Schmidt closed in on their century partnership, Schmidt was caught by Wakely off Buck. 4 overs later, Buck struck again, this time with the prize wicket of Wilson, trapped LBW for 72. And with the fall of wicket, the umpires decided to take the players off the field for both bad light and a smattering of rain that became gradually worse. In the end, it caused a premature end to the day, with stumps taken with no further play. Derbyshire will resume on day 2, 219 for 6.